Hello and good evening, all. I know it's been a couple days since I made this video, but I'm back. Okay, I got the story from New York Times, and it's a little disgusting. It's Here it is: the elderly versus essential workers. Who should get the coronavirus vaccine first? The CDC will soon decide which group to recommend next, and the debate over the trade-off is going heated. Ultimately, the states will determine who to include. Come on. Uh, Wait, I'm just gonna stop it. Pause. Uh, with the coronavirus pandemic surging, the initial vaccine supply limited, the United States faced hard choices. Should the country's immunization program focus in the early months on the elderly and the people who with serious medical conditions who are dying of viruses at a higher rate, or essential workers, an expensive category encompassing Americans who are born the greatest risk to infection? Uh, so you're saying the ones who fought for this country should not get it because they are elderly. Healthcare workers and the frailest of the elderly, residents of long-term nursing care facility will almost certainly get the first shots under guidelines the CDC issued Thursday. But with vaccines expected to start this month, the debate among federal and state health officials about who goes next and lobbying from outside groups to be included is going more urgent. The question increasingly added by concerns over this inequities laid bare the pandemic from disproportionately high rates of infections and death among poor people and people of color to desperate access to testing, childcare, and technology for online schools. This why there shouldn't be online schools. Have the kids go to school. It's damnable that we are even being placed in this position that we have to make these choices, said Reverend William J. Barber II, and a co-chairman of the Poor People's Campaign, a national coalition that calls for attention to the challenging of the working poor. But if we have to make these choices, we cannot once again leave poor and low wealth essential workers to be the last. Actually, there's a good chance that the poor will be able to shrug it off because they're usually dirtier, get used to getting cuts, builds up in higher immunes. Ultimately, the choice comes down to whether preventing death or curbing the spread of the virus and returning to some semblance of normalcy is the highest priority. If your goal is to maximize the preservation of human life, then you bias the vaccines towards older Americans, Dr. Scott Gottlieb, the former Food and Drug Administration commissioner, said recently. If your goal is to reduce the rate of infections, then you will prioritize essential workers, so it depends what impact you're trying to achieve. The trade-off between the two is muddied by the fact that the definition of essential workers used by CDC comprises nearly 7% of the American workforce, sweeping in not just grocery clerks and emergency responders, but tugboats operators, exterminators, nuclear energy workers. Some labor, economics, and public health officials consider the category overbought and say it should be nailed to only those who interact in person with the public. An independent committee of medical experts that advised the CDC on immunization practices will soon vote on whom to recommend the second phase of vaccines. Phase 1B in a meeting last month, all voting members of the committee indicated support for putting essential workers ahead of people 65 and older and those with high risk health conditions. So you're going to screw over people who pay taxes their whole lives and that's been supporting your ass well, you went to school and shit. Yeah, that's bullshit. Historically, the committee relied on scientific evidence to inform its decision, but now the members are weighing social justice concerns as well. This is why social justice sucks. You're bringing in feelings into something that should be 100% science. I noted Lisa A. Parza, professor of health policy and decision science at the University of Michigan. To me, the issues of ethics is very significant, very important for this country. Dr. Peter Zingale, a committee member and pediatrics professor at the University of California, LA, said at the time, and clearly favors the essential worker group because of the high proportion of minority, low income, and low educated workers among essential workers. If you're going to keep on bringing up that low income, low educated, then let's don't give no college professors or college kids any of it. The position runs counter to a framework proposed by the World Health Organization, the National Academics of Science and Engineering and Medicine in many countries, which say that reducing deaths should be unequivocally priority and that older and sicker people should thus go before workers, a view shared by many in the public health and medicine. Dr. Robert Redfield, the CDC director and the nation's top public health official, reminded the Ag- Advisory Committee of the importance of older people, saying in a statement on Thursday that he looked forward to the future recommendation that, based on vaccine availability, demonstrates that we, our nation, also prioritize the elderly. Once the committee votes, Dr. Redfield will decide whether to accept its recommendation as the official guidance of the agency. Only rarely does the CDC director reject the recommendation from the committee. Its 14 members are selected by the Health and Human Services Secretary and serve 4.5 year terms and has never confronted a task as high in profile as this one. Yeah, I just think it's bullshit to kind of put someone that looked at McDonald's ahead of your parents who's in your grandparents. Someone who some slack some idiot that sweeps the floors ahead of your grandparents. No, you go by who needs it most. It's logical. This is why social justice should be thrown out, and anyone who preaches it should be fined for trying to hurt everyone. So, what do you guys think? Is social justice going to end up killing more people? Please let me know down below. And what's going to come next? Oh, there's too many white people in the country to make it social justice league. We need no white people's allowed to have it. That's where it's going to go to. It's a slippery slope. Let me know down below. And if you made it this far, please hit the like button, subscribe, and as always, be good, have fun, stay safe. Bye bye.